Hello everyone, welcome to Introduction to Break Into Finance. So what is the Break Into Finance course? Well, we set out with the purpose of creating the ultimate one-stop shop course for students wanting to break into finance, and that could be investment banking, PE, Big Four accounting, banking, corporate finance, management consulting, or just any corporate finance role in the industry. So we took our learnings from decades across various senior financial roles and condensed this into a single financial course. And these are the skills that we think you need that we've summarized into our course. So interview skills, advanced Excel, modeling skills, creating awesome PowerPoint decks which really pop and convey the message, technical accounting, tax foundations, industry knowledge, reading financial statements, using CapIQ, relevant soft skills, an overview of the various industries, negotiating pay, promotion tactics, writing reports, and much, much, much more. So that's just a small, simple extract, and this is all within a single online course. No need to purchase lots of different bolt-on courses. Everything you need is in there in the single course which you can view from your browser or your phone. Now, there are some courses and degrees out there which kind of focus on the technical skills. For example, CFA might focus on finance skills, or CA or CPA might focus specifically on accounting skills, and you've got a couple of online courses which might focus specifically on modeling skills. These are all what you call technical skills, and yes, they're really important, but they're primarily important for the early years of your careers. As you can see in this chart here, in the early stage of your career, technical, the blue one, is by far the biggest contributor to your success in a junior role or being hired for a junior role. Yes, there are some soft skills, for example, being able to explain what the key issue is to key stakeholders and keep them in the loop, and interview skills as well to an extent, but there's not so much leadership skills. You're not really managing that many people, and there's not too many T-shaped skills, which we'll get into in a moment. So what do these actually mean? But the fact that online courses and degrees only focus on technical skills mean a lot of people are actually left out when it comes to actually progressing up your career, because people assume that you just need to be really good at your job, but you might have seen people who are so good at their job they actually get stuck at that level forever because they're too good to be replaced, and they don't necessarily have these skills, soft skills, leadership skills, and T-shaped skills. How our course at Break Into Finance really differentiates itself from other degrees and online courses is that we not only focus on technical, but we also spend a lot of time focusing on these skills over here, the soft skills, leadership, T-shaped skills, because no one actually tells you this, but these are actually the key skills you need to progress into the later stages of your career as you're starting to get into that manager role, director role, even towards partner or CFO or VP, depending on which industry you're in. So that's how our course really differentiates ourselves. We have a really good technical skills component, but we also have a really good and strong emphasis on the soft leadership and T-shaped skills required for the later stage of your career. So how does this compare? How does the Break Into Finance degree or online course compare to some of the other degrees and online courses available? Well, to break it down into kind of subcategories, so financial accounting, taxation, audit, corporate finance, modeling, advanced Excel, leadership skills, soft skills, also taught by a CFO, which we'll get into in a moment, and affordable as well. So as you can see, some of the other providers and courses, they're good in some aspects, they're good in other aspects, but none of them really have that complete package, is where Break Into Finance really differentiates itself. Now this point over here, I wanted to focus on taught by a CFO. So we'll get into that over here. So our course is actually taught by an experienced CFO. A lot of other online courses are people from, they might have some experience in the industry, either in junior roles or they've just worked there for a couple of years and then focused on their online business. You know from our course that we provide the information that you actually need because we've lived it. We've actually gone out and been promoted rapidly. So myself, a little bit about myself. So I've got over a decade of experience in the industry, and I've had rapid career progression, including being promoted to a CFO level role by the age of 30. The most recent role occupied by myself is CFO of an organization with $1 billion in assets under management. So I've also had experience in Big Four consulting, corporate finance, corporate M&A, and private equity, including leading over 100 transactions. So I'm passionate about passing on those learnings, what I've developed, and all the tips and tricks and key skills that you need to rapidly drive your career to others, potentially even to a CFO level as well. So who is this course designed for? It's really designed for two different categories: people trying to break into finance and those already working in finance who really want to improve their technical skills, but also want to develop those other qualitative skills that they need to break into more senior levels and be promoted. So where are people trying to either break into or already work into? Well, that could be private equity, could be investment banking, could be corporate finance, Big Four accounting, transaction services, M&A, management consulting, or really any general accounting or finance role. It could also be someone outside of finance who just want to extend their skill set and potentially differentiate themselves. But this is primarily the audience that we're targeting from this course. So let's very briefly go through what are the key skills that we're going to go through. So we mentioned before in that earlier slide, there's really 4 key categories of skills that we're going to go into this course. If I just quickly go back to the earlier slide, when you're an early graduate, this is probably covers your graduate levels to your seniors. Technical skills are by far the most important one. So what does that constitute? That includes M&A, technical accounting, advanced Excel, tax, auditing, management reporting, modeling, creating amazing Power Decks and PowerPoints and much, much more. Now, some courses are really good at teaching a couple of these skills, like modeling, for example, or you might have CFA, in which case you're really good at, the M&A side, or maybe even the valuation side, or you might have a CPA, which you're really good at the technical accounting side. So what our course aims to address is we want to teach you as much of these general technical skills as possible, because there's no such thing as a role which is specialized in only one area. Yes, you might work into tax, but you're really pigeonholing yourself into that type of role. So what we really want to do is make sure that you're a generalist skill set employee, because these are the ones who are going to have the highest chance of success in the long term, the highest chance of increasing their salary, highest chance of being promoted, and if anything happens to their existing job, they're adaptable enough to be able to go into another job. Now, as I mentioned, there are some courses online and degrees which do 1 or 2 of these really well, but even if we teach you all of these by itself, it's not enough for you to get into those really senior roles. And I'm talking about managers, senior managers, director, and then onwards onto partner or CFO or VP, depending on which direction and industry you want to go into. To get into those areas, you really need the latter 3 of these skills, which is the second part of what our course kind of focuses on. Once you've got that groundwork of the technical skills, we also want to teach you these skills. So what are they? So first one is soft skills. This is your personal brand, analytical skills, your interview skills, your writing and language skills, your negotiation, and much, much more. This is just a simple extract from each of these categories. Then you've got your leadership. So there's no such thing as a successful senior finance leadership role without the team. You don't have a CFO going and doing the journals, right? You don't have a partner going out and preparing the decks themselves. They have teams from that. So that's why it's really important to inspire the people around you, hire the right people. But not only that, but to develop personal goodwill. To attract people who want to work with you, you need to be able to attract them with your goodwill. You want to be able to pull them up with you and reward them. Otherwise, people won't want to work for you. But also it's the training development, right? It can be just taking, maybe staff who aren't so good and turning them into good staff. You don't always get to pick your teams. Sometimes you're moving to a new role and you just get the staff that you're assigned. Also, we're in a skill shortage at the moment in the industry, so you might not always be able to get the top 1% staff. So being able to train and develop those staff members is a really important skill and looks really good in your resume as well. Now, office politics is another one that's often overlooked, really important skill. No matter where you work, there's going to be politics, and particularly in the progression of your career, politics becomes increasingly important. Sometimes that this can be even more important than your technical skills in the long term. Public speaking and much, much more. And then finally, T-shaped skills. So you might not have heard this term. So this is really the very top tier, and it's really about being generalized employee over specialized employee, particularly in today's economy and careers. With the way that technology is changing roles and career progression, it's really important to be adaptable in any situation. So we really emphasize that generalization over specialization, and also your value network as well. So kind of when you get into those senior roles, how do you add value? You can't be a specialist in every possible area. So it's building up that network of bringing in the best resource for no matter what problem you have. So there's a lot more as well, which we'll cover in our course. This is just a very high level extract overviewing what we cover and how we differentiate from other degrees and courses. So that's it for the very brief overview. Let's get started with the full course. Now, of course, we've got a try-free course over here, which you can click on our website, which gives you a limited extract from videos. It doesn't give you all of the videos, a very small amount of videos available for free. Click here on the full course, which of course you must purchase, but we've got hundreds of videos, hundreds of hours of content, which is incredibly important for your career progression, becoming a capable and in-demand employee. So let's get started right now.